This video explores how a floor plan can be developed utilizing the square foot method. In a previous video lesson, the concept of square footage and how it is measured using the area command in AutoCAD was introduced. If you have not seen the video on the area command, make sure you view that video first. This lesson assumes that you are already familiar with the area command and the methods for acquiring it. This video primarily utilizes method number 2, the area command that is used in conjunction with the polyline command. Let's get started with a demonstration of how to draft and develop floor plans through the manipulation of square footage. I recommend importing the master layer list. If you have not yet created a master layer list, watch the video lesson on how to set up this useful W-block tool. If you don't have time to create your own master layer list, there is a link to cjsclasses.com for a free W-block download. Through the block library, insert the master layer list. Delete the block as soon as you see the layers have been imported into the layer panel. Select the entire floor plan and organize the walls onto the exterior wall layer. Choose the A-wall-ext layer. You should see the walls change to a blue color. Next, make the A-anno-square feet layer the current layer. The next thing we need to do is create a polyline with a width of 0.35 inches to trace around the interior perimeter of the floor plan, as we demonstrated in a previous video. Make sure that the first pick point and the last point around the perimeter of the floor plan mark the same starting and ending point. Be sure to type C for close when you reach the last pick point. This will create a closed loop. Once you have created a polyline around the interior perimeter of the plan view, there are two ways to find the square footage. The first method simply involves gripping the polyline and then using the Properties panel to find the area readout. For the second method, at the command line, type Area. Choose Object. Pick on the polyline. Make sure you can see two rows of the command line. In the row above the active command line, the square footage is listed in parentheses. In this method, you will copy and paste the square foot listed. This technique can be used in conjunction with the dtext single-line text command. Begin the dtext command using an annotative text style. Set the text height between 3/32 and 3/16 of an inch high with a rotation angle set to 0. At the blinking cursor, right mouse click and choose Clipboard Paste. Return Enter key twice to end the command. In this example, the current square footage is rounded up for a total of 1,665 square feet. The goal of this assignment is to increase the square footage of the existing plan to at least 2,500 square feet, but no more than 3,800 square feet. This gives us a target anywhere between 2,500 and 3,800 square feet to develop, where we need the following spaces defined: one primary entryway, a kitchen space, a space allocated for a great room or a living room, 3 bedrooms, one identified as a primary bedroom, and 2 bathrooms, one of which is identified as a primary bathroom. If you want to define more than the minimum requirements, you could add any of the following spaces: a laundry room, storage, office, additional bedrooms, additional bathroom or powder room, a pantry, and/or stairs to a basement level. Remember, This assignment is based on the technical execution of manipulating square footage. It doesn't matter if you have additional rooms beyond the minimum requirements. The following tips will help you when you are drafting and developing floor plans. Make sure that you have the polyline that defines the interior outline of the plan view organized onto the following layer, A-anno-square feet. You will need to be able to turn the information on this layer off and on when needed. For the first part of the manipulation of space, leave the square foot layer turned on. Let's get started shaping the overall space. The best way to increase specific areas of the plan is through the use of the stretch command. The scale command is not recommended because it will simply make the overall existing floor plan larger, but it will not change the proportions. We will need to modify the floor plan proportions so that we have usable interior spaces. The following commands are part of what we call best practices for doing this. Using the stretch command in conjunction with the green crossing box. The line command, the fillet command, the trim and extend commands, the offset command, the break command, and you should be familiar with the match properties command. We will also work closely with the properties panel. To get started, identify which elevation will have the main entry. There are so many different possible points of entry. Some of the choices can be reduced depending on the shape and size of the site and how it is accessed. For our purposes, we can define the primary point of entry on any of the elevations. Make a choice and try to stick with it for the purposes of this exercise. You can change where you want to enter, but stick to the same elevation side. Consider what you already know about a residential structure from the point of entry as you enter the space. In this example, the red arrow marks the approximate location of the entryway for the floor plan development. Through the point of entry, one enters into a transition space, such as a foyer, or you step into a public zone, such as a living room, great room, or family room. Living rooms typically house more formal furniture arrangements than family rooms, where the goal is for the occupants of the space to gather and relax. Great rooms are the type of rooms that have multiple functions. A common spatial combination of a great room is a kitchen and family room, which are open to each other. Within this public or common zone, there should be a bathroom that is accessible to the occupants and visitors, meaning that you do not have to go through a private sleeping area to access it. Laundry facilities are often part of the public or common zone where it is easily accessible to multiple occupants. The private zone, by contrast, is often a grouping of sleeping areas or bedrooms which will have personal storage defined by bedroom closets and possibly ensuite bathrooms. If a bathroom is not private to a particular bedroom, it is usually located within a few steps of one or more bedrooms. All sleeping areas must have a means of egress, meaning you must have a window at least 5.7 square feet for the purposes of exiting the structure in an emergency. The minimum width of a window in a bedroom must not be less than 20 inches wide. Although it's not relevant to the floor plan development, it should be noted that the minimum height of the window opening may not be less than 24 inches high, and the maximum height of the bottom of the window opening may not exceed 44 inches above the finished floor. Again, the height of the window and sill do not affect floor plan development, as only the width of the window and its placement along an elevation can be communicated graphically. However, a note defining the window sill height accompanies the plan view window graphic in a set of construction plans. Beyond private and public zones are mixed zones. These are areas that are convertible spaces, meaning that they may be used for more than one purpose. Now that you know how the spaces relate to each other within a residential floor plan, let's use AutoCAD drafting commands to define the space. The next part of the video will reinforce techniques and offer tips on using the stretch command. Tip number 1. Always use the stretch command in conjunction with the green crossing box only. Tip number 2. Remember, you are only changing one dimension of the aspect ratio at a time. In this instance, I am increasing the depth of the small area, but not the width. Notice the crossing box only intersects the vertical lines, and the horizontal lines stay intact within the selection box. Tip number 3. Always read the command line to understand what you should be doing next. Tip number 4. When prompted at the command line to select a base point, sometimes it is a good idea to pick a point in an open area instead of directly on the object line. Picking a base point in an open area alleviates the necessity of toggling off the O-snap for the displacement point. O-snap magnets sometimes snap to unexpected points when the base point is directly on the object line. Tip number 5. Remember these 2 hints. When affecting the width of the space, you are crossing through horizontal object lines, and the vertical line should be encapsulated within the selection box. Whereas when you are affecting the length of the space, you are crossing through vertical object lines, and the horizontal line should be encapsulated within the selection box. Tip number 6. Use the stretch command to relocate door and window openings along any double wall line. Make sure the crossing box intersects the double wall lines and that the openings, doors, and window symbols are fully encapsulated in the selection box. Finally, tip number 7. Use the stretch command to increase or decrease the window size by directly crossing through a combination of the window opening and the double wall lines. The video lesson recap includes working with the area command to assess the square footage of a floor plan drawing, the utilization of the polyline command to create a boundary on the A anode square foot layer, manipulation of spatial proportions using the stretch command, and finally, basic space planning tips as it relates to the 3 primary zones of residential blocking. The next video in the floor plan development series describes how to use the multi-line command to create double lines for the interior walls and the placement of doors and windows.